Hey guys, it's Pierre, and in this video I want to talk about a very important concept, and that is focusing on the user. This is going to be a concept which is going to be super important for both UI UX design and web design projects. I wanted to make this video because I see a lot of designers focusing on the tools at your disposal, such as how to lay out design systems, and creating brand books, things of that nature. And although these are all tools which are going to help you and also your client within a design project, the very most important thing that you have to keep in mind at all times is to focus on the user. And let's talk about an example. We always want to approach a screen or UX flow thinking about just the core concepts that we want to communicate or the core actions that we want a user to perform. And that is a step which comes even before the visual design. This that you're seeing, and by the way, I'm using this UI kit from UI8 called Core, which I highly recommend you to check out. But basically, what you're seeing here is just the outcome of a reasoning. And of course, I'm using this as an analogy, as a demo. This is a UI kit. It's not a real client project, but the exact same principle apply. And essentially, what you want to understand is that whenever you're tackling a UI UX design project, the most important thing that you want to do, even before you open Figma, is to note down the objectives, the goals, and what I like to do is to create a visual hierarchy which can be interpreted almost like a pyramid, in the sense that we need to identify what are the very most important things which are at the top, and what are going to be the elements which we need less emphasis, and these are going to be at the bottom. And this exercise can be done for both a single screen. So for example, if I'm looking to understand what are the elements that I want to communicate in this screen, I'm going to note down them all and then reorganize them so that at the very top it's clear that, for example, in a dashboard I want to communicate how many customers and what is the general income, so that the user can have a bird's eye perspective right away. And then maybe there's some elements which we still want to communicate but are not as important, so we're going to probably bring them down in the screen. So things of that nature are going to really be helpful when creating a high-level strategy. And this is essential to do even before you open up any design file. So you can see how this preliminary step doesn't involve at all things like auto layout or creating color styles or textiles and thinking about the brand as a whole. Those are all add-ons, accessory things which are going to come at a later stage. And they are important, don't get me wrong, it's all going to help create the perfect recipe. It's almost like baking a cake. First of all, you need the right ingredients and you need to add them within the right time and within the right methodology. And then you can add seasoning on the cake, which is going to be, or seasoning on the steak in that case. But you get the idea. Basically, you want to see the visual design as an extra layer, an add-on layer, which is going to emphasize and really create the overall solution in a better way. So it's almost like the glue that glues all of the main components, but you need the stability of the UX process prior doing that. So always take a step back and think about what is going to be the most helpful way to show the features or to communicate some concepts to the user. And that is why I'm a big fan of creating low fidelity wireframes before I go and create a full-on dashboard or website, because the high-level wireframes are going to help you to focus on the high level, as you mentioned, instead of focusing on the details. So even things like creating a quick wireframe like this, where you don't even add text, you're just adding, for example, elements that might suggest where we're going to focus our attention and efforts to, and just communicating at a high level what are going to be the main interaction points or things of that nature. So this is going to be really helpful, and I always like to discuss with ideally the current client, so having user interviews, because those are going to yield a lot of value, regardless if you're aiming, or checking all the boxes of a specific project. Just being in touch with the user is something which I personally feel it's invaluable in pretty much any field. If you can't do that, the very next best thing that you can do is to try and get in touch with the individuals within the organization which are in touch with the users. So for example, it can be the marketing or the sales team. So asking them questions about what are the current pain points that the user is experiencing within the current app or website, and what are the goals that you're trying to achieve, why are they inquiring, why are they calling up the business. So things of that nature are going to be really, really helpful, and you're going to essentially enable you not to work in a silo, meaning that making assumptions and thinking just about the visual design and creating the perfect auto layout, which, don't get me wrong, you should definitely do that. You should create a design system which is in line with the company's specific goals and desires, but those are simply tools. What you want to focus on is the high level first, and then use those tools to refine all of the project and the end solution. So really hope this video was helpful. If you want to learn more about UI UX design or web design, I'm a designer with over a decade of experience, and I share these free videos. I have over 700 videos on my channel, so feel free to check them out together with the freebies, which I'm leaving in the link in the description, where you can find all sorts of free material and UI kits and tutorials for Figma.